several years ago, I was traveling to Buenos Aires, Argentina, and then on to Paraguay, and then from Paraguay to Peru, and then from Peru to Mexico. So it was a 3-week long trip. Part of it was business, part of it was work, part of it was pleasure. And so I flew from Seattle, ended up in Washington, D.C. I think I had a meeting or two in Washington, D.C. I'm at the airport getting ready to get on my flight. I'm in the the United Airlines Star Alliance Club lounge there at Dulles. And the guy beside me is doing what I'm doing. We're charging our phone to the best level we can get them. And he looks at me and says, "Oh, where are you going?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to Sao Paulo, Brazil. And then I'm going to go from Sao Paulo, I'm going to go to Buenos Aires." And I gave him kind of the details of the trip. And I just met him. And he goes, "Well," he says, "are you going to be in Buenos Aires for the weekend?" So yeah, I'm because I like Buenos Aires, I'd planned it that way. I'm going to be in Buenos Aires for the weekend. He says, "Okay, great." He says, "Here's my card." He says, "Give me a call when you get there because we're going to have a party and you can join us." I said, "Oh, okay, that's great." So he got on his flight to Buenos Aires. I got on my flight to Sao Paulo. I do my work in Sao Paulo where I visit my friends George Machado and his family, and then I go on down to Buenos Aires. In Buenos Aires, I stay in a boutique hotel. And again, this is really before internet and texting and that type of stuff. I had a cell phone, but there was no way I was going to use it extensively down there because the charges were very expensive. Dollars per minute as opposed to pennies per minute. And texting wasn't big, so I get on their computer down in the lobby. I email the guy and say, "Hey, I'm in town. I'm here this weekend." He goes, "Great." He says, I'll swing by and pick you up at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock at night? And he says, "Yeah, 10 o'clock at night." He says, "I'll pick you up at 10 o'clock, and then you can come to my house and we'll party." I'm like, "Okay, I can do that." So about 9:30, 9:45, I get a call from the lobby and say, he called and said that he was going to give the taxi driver his address and you can take the taxi. Well, my Spanish is bar Spanish. I say after 3 or 4 pisco sours, I can speak fluent Spanish, but by 3 or 4 pisco sours, the people I'm talking to, even if they do speak Spanish, couldn't understand myself. They can't understand themselves because pisco sours is a powerful drink. So I'm a little bit concerned because I'm going to get in this taxi that I have no idea where he's going. And I don't speak the language. And I was staying at a nice hotel. The taxi came up. I told the driver to tell me. I told the concierge to tell the driver that before I go in, he needed to confirm the address. I wasn't going to walk up to somebody's house or apartment and say, "Hi, I'm here," until I confirmed it. I get in a taxi. In Buenos Aires, there's some beautiful neighborhoods. There's also some neighborhoods where you don't want to go. Like every city, there's places where you don't want to go. And I didn't know where I was going. I had no clue. So I'm in the taxi and we're driving. And luckily, as we're driving, I look out and I see the jockey club. I see the horse track. I'm like, okay, this is a good area. This is a good area of town. I'm okay. We pull up in front of a non-distinct building, and the driver gets out like I asked him to, goes up, knocks on the door, and comes back and says, "Yes, this is the place." So, okay, great. I get out. I go in. I go up to the guy's apartment, and it's just he and I. I'm like, this is weird. He says, "Don't worry." He says, "I got some friends showing up shortly. They'll be here. It's 10:30 now. They should be here by 11. Like, okay. So we had a drink. I don't remember what it was, but we had a drink. And about 11 o'clock, 8 people showed up. 5 or 6 of them were beautiful, drop-dead gorgeous women. And he explained to me that these ladies had just returned from a photo shoot with the Argentinian soccer team in Europe. So these ladies were models. And I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. So we talked. There was a couple of them that spoke English, not all of them, and a couple of them had their boyfriends there. Not all of them were with their couple. They went by themselves. And by midnight, 12:30, they go, "Okay, let's go." Where are we going? So we all follow. I said, we're going to go to a concert. Midnight, 12:30? Yeah. So we go downstairs. We into the garage and we get into their car. And their cars are nice. We got into a Land Rover. And it's like, this is nice. They've got some money. I feel comfortable with these people. Even though I just met the guy, I can't even think of his name now. I just met the guy hours before. It's shortly, in a short period of time, in an airport in Washington, D.C. We get in the cars and we drive to kind of an industrial area. Again, a little bit nervous. And we come up and we park the car, and there's a line of people, I don't know, 1,000 people deep. It's like you're trying to get into a football game. And they go, okay, follow us. Don't get lost. I'm like, I don't want to get lost. I have no idea where I'm at. I don't know anything here. My Spanish is limited. I haven't had my 3 or 4 pisco sours. So I basically grab onto the back of one of them, and we walk to the front of the line. And everybody's kind of pointing at us like, what are they doing here? What are they doing? They're just going to the front. We get in the front of the line. Somebody flashed something. We all get let in. They go, okay, follow us. So we go into this big, kind of like an airport hangar, in this big room. And there's music. Boom, 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 boom. And we just walked across the floor. And they said, don't lose us. Walk across the floor. We go up some stairs. And up top, there are some suites. And in these suites, there's bottles of champagne and their equivalent of Red Bull. I don't remember what the name was. And they were mixing the two. And there was ladies there to serve us drinks. And from about 12:30 at night until 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, I was in a rave in Buenos Aires, Argentina, with people I'd never met before, talking to some glamour models in English and Spanish back and forth. And it was fascinating. It's something, again, I wouldn't do it now. Looking back, it's like, wow, that was foolish. I went with people I didn't know. I didn't have any means of getting in touch with anybody. And I ended up in a rave. I was at the time probably in my 40s or early 50s. I was in my 40s probably. I was probably 20 years older than everybody else there. And the music, I didn't mind the music, but after 7 hours, it gets a little old. So at 7:30 in the morning, everybody's like, okay, the music is over. We'll give you a ride back. One of the girls I've been talking to says, we'll give you a ride back. And her boyfriend says, no, we won't. She goes, no, he needs a ride back. We can't just leave him here. He needs a ride back. And the boyfriend was really upset that because she had talked to me. She was one of the few that spoke English. She'd talked to me quite a bit. He says, no, we'll give him a ride back. So we get a ride back, go back. I was staying at the hotel that I was at, and 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, I come walking in to my hotel. Luckily, it was a Saturday or Sunday morning. I think it was Sunday morning because we did this on Saturday night. Again, looking back, I'd never do it. I wouldn't recommend it, though I recommend it because it's an experience that I'll never have again. Very few people have. Really got me into understand their culture. Even though it was a younger culture than what I'm used to at the time, it was a really nice experience. And maybe that's one of the reasons why I like Buenos Aires. It's like I say, it's a beautiful city. I've been there several times. I've been there with my family, and I'd recommend going back. It's worth the trip.